Procrastination is a common challenge faced by many people across all walks of life. It involves delaying tasks or decisions, often in favor of more pleasurable or easier activities. While occasional procrastination may seem harmless, chronic procrastination can lead to stress, decreased productivity, and missed opportunities. Understanding why we procrastinate and learning strategies to overcome it is essential for personal growth, efficiency, and mental well-being. Why do we procrastinate? 1. Fear of failure. One of the most common reasons people procrastinate is the fear of failure. When individuals are confronted with a task, project, or decision, they may worry that their efforts will not meet expectations, either their own or those of others. This anticipation of negative outcomes can create significant anxiety, making the task feel daunting or even overwhelming. As a result, instead of confronting the challenge directly, people often find it easier to delay starting or completing it. Over time, this avoidance can become a habit, reinforcing feelings of inadequacy and lowering self-confidence. Fear of failure doesn't only affect major tasks. It can also impact everyday responsibilities, from submitting a work assignment to speaking up in a meeting. Interestingly, the paradox of procrastination is that avoiding the task may temporarily relieve anxiety, but in the long term, it often increases stress and diminishes performance. Overcoming this fear requires acknowledging the possibility of mistakes, reframing failure as a learning opportunity, and gradually taking small steps toward completing tasks despite uncertainty. Point 2. Perfectionism. Perfectionism is another major factor that contributes to procrastination. People who strive for perfection often set unrealistically high standards for themselves, believing that anything less than flawless is unacceptable. This mindset can make starting a task feel intimidating, as the fear of producing imperfect work can be paralyzing. Instead of taking action, perfectionists may spend excessive time overplanning, overanalyzing, or repeatedly revising their work in an attempt to get everything just right. 3. Lack of motivation. A lack of motivation is one of the most common reasons people put off tasks, and it often stems from how engaging or meaningful the task feels. When a task seems boring, repetitive, or uninteresting, it's natural to delay it in favor of activities that provide immediate satisfaction or excitement. This is especially true when the task lacks intrinsic motivation, that is, when it doesn't align with personal interests, goals, or values. Without a clear sense of purpose or reward, even tasks that are important can feel like a burden, making it easy to procrastinate. Additionally, low motivation can create a mental loop of avoidance. The less motivated someone feels, the harder it becomes to start, and the more it is postponed, the more overwhelming and stressful it seems. Point 4. Overwhelm. Feeling overwhelmed is a major contributor to procrastination, especially when tasks are large, complex, or vaguely defined. When people look at a project in its entirety, the sheer scope of work can feel daunting, causing stress and a sense of helplessness. This mental overload often leads to avoidance, as the brain perceives the task as too difficult or unmanageable to even begin. Interestingly, the problem is not always the task itself, but the perception of it. When we focus on the big picture without a clear plan, our minds can spiral into worry. Point 5. Poor time management. Poor time management is a significant factor that often leads to procrastination. When individuals fail to plan their tasks effectively or prioritize their responsibilities, it becomes easy for work to accumulate. Without a structured schedule, important tasks can be delayed repeatedly, while less critical or more enjoyable activities take precedence. In addition, modern distractions, such as social media, streaming services, or constant notifications, exacerbate the problem by pulling attention away from essential work. Multitasking, which many believe increases efficiency, often reduces focus and productivity, making tasks take longer than necessary and leaving people feeling overwhelmed. Over time, these habits can create a vicious cycle. Poor time management leads to procrastination, which increases stress, reduces the quality of work, and further erodes one's ability to organize time effectively. Developing skills like goal setting, prioritizing tasks, creating to-do lists, and allocating specific time blocks for focused work can significantly reduce procrastination. Point 6. Instant gratification. Another key reason people procrastinate is the human tendency to seek instant gratification. Our brains are naturally wired to prefer immediate rewards over delayed benefits, which makes it easy to prioritize activities that offer quick pleasure or satisfaction, even if they are less important. For example, scrolling through social media, watching videos, or engaging in leisurely activities often feels more appealing than working on a project that requires sustained effort but promises benefits only in the future. This preference for immediate reward can create a cycle of procrastination. The short-term pleasure temporarily reduces discomfort or boredom, but it delays progress on essential tasks, increasing stress and pressure as deadlines approach. Over time, constantly prioritizing immediate enjoyment over long-term goals can harm productivity, personal growth, and even self-esteem. Overcoming this tendency requires consciously shifting focus from short-term satisfaction to long-term benefits, creating systems of accountability, and using strategies like rewarding oneself after completing tasks. By gradually training the mind to value delayed rewards, it becomes easier to stay committed to important responsibilities despite the allure of immediate pleasures. How can we stop procrastinating? 1. Set clear goals. Setting clear goals is one of the most effective strategies to combat procrastination. When tasks and objectives are vague or undefined, it can be difficult to know where to start, which often leads to delay and indecision. By defining specific, measurable, and achievable goals, individuals create a roadmap that provides direction and focus. Clear goals break down ambiguity, making it easier to determine the exact steps needed to progress. For example, instead of saying, "I need to work on my project," a more precise goal would be, "I will write 500 words of my project today." This level of clarity reduces mental resistance and makes the task feel more manageable, which increases the likelihood of taking immediate action. Moreover, well-defined goals help maintain motivation because progress can be tracked and celebrated, reinforcing positive habits. Setting clear goals also allows for prioritization, ensuring that time and energy are spent on tasks that matter most, rather than on distractions or less important activities. Ultimately, having specific objectives transforms overwhelming or daunting responsibilities into concrete, actionable steps, making procrastination far less likely to take hold. Point 2. Use time management techniques. Effectively managing time is a crucial strategy for overcoming procrastination, and there are several techniques that can help structure work and maintain focus. Tools like the Pomodoro technique, time blocking, and to-do lists provide a framework that transforms vague intentions into actionable plans. The Pomodoro technique, for example, involves working in focused intervals, typically 25 minutes, followed by a short break. This method not only boosts concentration, but also prevents burnout by giving the mind regular rest periods. Time blocking, on the other hand, involves scheduling specific blocks of time for particular tasks or types of work, which reduces decision fatigue and helps ensure that important responsibilities are prioritized. To-do lists serve as a simple yet effective tool to organize tasks, break down larger projects into manageable steps, and track progress. By implementing these techniques, individuals gain a clearer sense of structure and control over their day, which reduces the likelihood of procrastination. Additionally, these strategies encourage consistent action, minimize distractions, and provide measurable benchmarks for productivity. Over time, using time management techniques can help cultivate discipline, improve efficiency, and make even complex or undesirable tasks feel more achievable. Point 3. Eliminate distractions. Eliminating distractions is a vital step in overcoming procrastination and maintaining focus on important tasks. In today's world, constant notifications from phones, social media, emails, and other digital platforms can easily pull attention away from meaningful work. Even seemingly minor interruptions, like background noise or a cluttered workspace, can break concentration and reduce efficiency. To counter this, it is important to identify common distractions and take deliberate steps to minimize them. Creating a dedicated workspace that is free from interruptions can help signal to the brain that it is time to focus. Turning off notifications, closing unnecessary browser tabs, and setting specific blocks of time for work can further enhance concentration. 4. Reward yourself. Rewarding yourself is a powerful strategy to overcome procrastination because it leverages the brain's natural response to positive reinforcement. When people complete a task, even a small one, acknowledging and celebrating that achievement can boost motivation and create a sense of accomplishment. These rewards can be simple, such as taking a short break, enjoying a favorite snack, or engaging in a relaxing activity, but they provide the brain with immediate satisfaction for completing work that may otherwise feel tedious or challenging. Celebrating small milestones also helps break down large, overwhelming tasks into manageable steps, making progress more tangible and reinforcing a sense of momentum. Over time, consistently rewarding oneself for completing tasks conditions the mind to associate work with positive outcomes, which can reduce resistance and make starting future tasks easier. Point 5. Practice self-compassion. Practicing self-compassion is an essential strategy for overcoming procrastination because it addresses the emotional barriers that often prevent progress. Many people respond to procrastination with harsh self-criticism, guilt, or frustration, which can create a cycle of negative emotions that actually reinforces avoidance. Instead, acknowledging that procrastination is a common human experience allows individuals to approach their habits with understanding rather than judgment. By observing patterns of procrastination without harsh self-reproach, it becomes possible to identify triggers such as fear, perfectionism, or distractions, and develop strategies to address them. Self-compassion also encourages patience and persistence, reminding individuals that improvement takes time and that occasional setbacks do not define their abilities or worth. Practicing self-kindness helps reduce stress, maintain motivation, and foster a healthier relationship with work and responsibilities.